Today is June the 3rd, 2008, and I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Thurman Massey of Trenton, Texas. This is Anne Duncan. Mr. Massey, thank you for taking your time to come and do this. This is a very important project of the Fannin County Historical Society. Mr. Massey, I've known you a long time, or at least see you around Trenton. How long have you lived in Trenton?
About ever since 59.
So you've lived here a long time, haven't you?
A long time.
Yeah. And how old are you?
Be 85 in September.
85. Well, are you in pretty good health for 85?
Pretty good.
You look real good. You and your friend Billy D look pretty good for a couple of old guys. I guess, where were you born, Mr. Massey?
In Mount Selma, in East Texas, about 6-7 miles north of Jacksonville on 69.
On 69. And so, let's see, if you're 85, you were born in the 20s?
1923.
1923.
September the 16th.
And you lived out in the country?
I lived in CUNY.
In CUNY, uh-huh. And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had 3 sisters and 1 brother.
Mm-hmm. And what, was your dad a farmer, or what did your dad do?
Well, he worked on the WPA and he tried to do a little farming. And we were raised up on the farm. My granddaddy and his brother and his father used to own the whole little old town, CUNY, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Highway 175 was going right straight through to Jacksonville now. But we had a pretty rough time during the Depression. I lived in Tyler, lived in Denver, Colorado, traveled a lot all over the United States.
During the Depression?
No, just lately.
Just lately?
During the Depression, I've seen the time where grass wouldn't hardly grow. We got started.
It was rough, wasn't it?
I done without food when I was a kid for 4 days once. Then when we did have anything, it was maybe cornbread and jam or jelly.
Well, did you get a chance to go to school?
I missed school 1 year when we were living on Highway 31 going out of Tyler into Kilgore. There wasn't no school available, and they didn't have no transportation, but I made up for it when I went back to CUNY. I made 2 grades that year. And I made it to the 9th grade, and I went in service.
You dropped out of school. So how old were you when you went into the service?
I was 18.
That was before World War II, so that was like in 1940 or?
42, last of 42.
Last of 42, and so you joined the Army?
Yeah, I went in the Army, and I was stationed about 13 different camps. And we went through so much, had a lot of race riots, and was stationed in Idaho, Utah, Washington, Florida, Mississippi twice, California, and we had a pretty rough time.
Was back at a time when units, and was it all black in your unit?
Yeah, it was all black.
Because it was not integrated at that time, was it?
And
did you have white officers, or did you have black officers?
We had, in some places, white officers, in some places, black officers.
Mm-hmm.
And First Sergeant, we had a race riot in Bruner, Nebraska, and they had to ship us out.
Tell me what you mean by a race riot. Was it black on black?
No, white.
White?
With the white. When they say race riot, we had gotten into, well, it was just simple. This white soldier was coming up the street, and he was sucking a lemon, and he threw the lemon and hit the black soldier, and he ran, and he went to the base commander, but we all followed him up there. He had to leave there, and only somebody, we had an Irishman was a officer. He was nice, but we didn't listen to him. They had to take an acting first sergeant, the PFC, to stop us, and they had to ship us out. We had one in Mississippi at a movie. They didn't want blacks sitting where the white, and we started to the movie, and they told us they couldn't sell no more tickets. We said, why? We got plenty of room. And so about 6 truckloads of soldiers come down. They had to let us in, and most of the white left. And then I was at Gulfport, Mississippi. This was in Biloxi, and I was at Gulfport once. I had a hernia, and they wouldn't put me in the hospital. I couldn't even walk the child. The other soldiers had to bring my food, and they wouldn't even enter me in the hospital.
And why wouldn't they let you in the hospital? Because you were black?
I guess so, because it was a white officer. And some of the officers, I guess they were from Mississippi or somewhere. And then I was in Idaho, and I was going with this white girl, Lucille Wonder. And I volunteered and drove ambulance. And she would, whenever the white wax would come in to enter the hospital, we had to deliver them to the room. And she would tell me, say, I don't want you talking to none of these women while you going, carrying them to the room. Be a lot of people, all white, because wasn't no blacks and boys at that time, about 1 or 2. And they shipped me out on that account. And I had a friend, he went out in town and rented a car, and he bought a carload of white girls back out on the base, and they shipped him away. And then we had, at the USO, we had a black lady there, was in charge of it. And so we had a party that night, and all white girls and all black soldiers. And she got scared and made the girls leave. And there was a black boy come through there, civilian, about 17 years old, taking a cue stick and robbed that woman and killed her with that cue stick. They hung him. That was the law in Idaho at that time. We only had 2 places to go. The white woman had a jukebox in her house, and the black lady had a jukebox in her house. Them the only 2 places we could go. And a lot of time at the white lady's house where she had the jukebox, a lot of white soldiers would come there and bring the girlfriend, but if we were there, they would leave.
Wouldn't bring their girlfriends. Well, I guess you've seen a lot of different kinds of things like that in your life, haven't you?
Yeah, I come up through, see, I can't hardly deal with discrimination, because when I was a kid, I was living in Tyler. I was about, with my auntie, I was about 9, 10, 11 years old. And this officer come out one Saturday evening, and he walked out and he said, all of you niggas get back down there on the wagon yard, up here around these white women. And I looked at him and I started walking off, and he kicked me 3 times. And I haven't got over that yet. That's really they can't put their hand on me. And I have to walk away to keep from doing things, because it's
really makes an impression on a young kid, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't take nothing like that.
Yeah.
I have to try to stay away from things like that, and policemen that doing things wrong. I believe in obeying the law. I don't care who it is. It can be brother, sister, whatever. And I don't uphold my kids for their wrongdoing. If they get in bothering other people, I'm not getting mad at them other people. I don't believe in that. And I don't let no bad kid come around me. I don't care who the kid is and where they come from. I tell my grandkids, you got a bad kid, you better raise them up right. Because I ain't putting up with none of it.
Well, Thurman, so you and during the service and you traveled all over, and then so in the late 40s when you got out of the service, about how old were you when you got out of the service? About 20 something?
Yeah, I was still in my 20s.
And so then what did you do after that? What kind of job did you get after you got out of the service?
Well, I was drawing after I got my little $300 back. I went to Denver, Colorado. I lived up there a while. Then I come back home, and I worked in Dallas at the Hollywood overhead door, cut mail at the terminal station downtown. Worked at a brewing company on Jackson. I worked at a nursery deal down at Jacksonville, 8 years.
Jacksonville's a big town that has a lot of nurseries, don't they? Didn't they used to grow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it seemed like I've been there before. Mother and I went there, and they had a
and
lot.
they had one up at Tyler, too.
Yeah.
And I worked there 8 years.
Well, now, were you married at this time?
Yeah, I married my first wife.
Did you marry after you got out of the service?
No, I married while I was in service.
And
both
was
of
she?
my wives still living.
Are they really? Was your first wife from around here, or was she from
Jacksonville?
From Jacksonville.
She's been here before.
Has she?
While I was overseas, she come up and stayed with my dad.
Oh, well, I missed that part. So you went overseas during World War II too?
Oh yeah, I was on Guam. We started in Okinawa, and the Japanese, they cut us off, and 18 planes attacked the ship one day, and we trying to run them off because I had to help the guys with using the 20 millimeters. I had to giving them the shells to put in the millimeter. And we dodged the submarine, just one long ship. I wasn't in the convoy. Sit out in that ocean about 8 hours. Soldiers were crying for their mamas, for their daddy, and we started, after we left, we started Okinawa, we couldn't make it. And then we was on our way to Iwo Jima before they dropped the atomic bomb. And all the mines and things, I can...
Were you pretty scared?
I never did. I wasn't looking to get back.
You really thought that was the end?
That's right. I sure was. I never did think about getting back. I made out 3 lot nets. One to my wife, and one to my grandmother, and one to my dad up here for my baby sister. And I was drawing $7 a month overseas, because we didn't have to buy anything anyway. So we went to Iwo Jima, and they dropped the atomic bomb, and that's what stopped them. And then we come back and stopped in Saipan, and we got off the ship, me and another soldier, and we started down that strip. Them girls was hollering and going on. And we almost got left, and the ship sounded the horn. We had to run to get back on there before they pulled the gangplank back up.
So
that was something.
So you, when you all heard the news that the war was over, I'm sure that was a happy day.
Oh yeah.
Lots of celebrations.
And then before then, though, when we was in Boise, Idaho, we had another discrimination deal. On a Saturday and on a Sunday, the black soldiers were soldiering and working, and the white soldier was off. He didn't have to do nothing. So we had to go through with all of that, and so many other things too.
I know when you've lived as long as you and Billy D have, y'all have seen lots of changes in the world, some for the good and some for not so good. But
yeah. But really, I feel sorry for a lot of people for they really don't have the knowledge and the common sense, but they got to pay after death. And I know there's a lot of people make mistakes. I've seen a time where we couldn't even go with a black girl if you was a soldier. And people didn't allow no soldiers to go with their daughters.
They didn't trust anybody from out of town.
If you're a soldier, then it didn't make no difference what. But
well, so you were married. So after the war, you came home and you were married, and
I got married while I was on
a leave.
Yeah.
And so, how long were you and your first wife married?
About, let's see, we separated 49.
So you weren't married very long,
No.
4 or 5 years. And did you have any children?
Oh, yeah.
How many children did you have with her?
I had one, Thurman Jr. He's still living. He went to Vietnam. I got other kids, but not by her.
So then when did you remarry?
Oh, I remarried in 59.
And moved to Trenton.
Right.
And how did you know somebody in Trenton? Did some of your family live here?
Oh, yeah. My dad, we used to go on the cotton pick a long time ago in Caddo Mill.
Mm-hmm.
And go to Greenville down there, and Miss Hall and Mr. Reuben Kissentown, they had come from my hometown. My dad knew them before I did. They come up here back in, Miss Hall said she come up here in 1917. And Mr. Reuben come up here right after that. And my dad knew them, and they come up here. Like the Blantons, they come out from down that way, all the Blantons around Sherman.
The Blantons?
Yeah, all around Sherman and Oklahoma. They're originally from Larissa, down in my hometown. And the Halls, they come up here at that time in 1917. Well, it wasn't any, well, it was a lot of blacks and Indians in this town. It wasn't Trenton at that time. I think it was Big Thicket. And they had a race ride, and it was a white lady about 80 or 90 years old told Miss Hall what happened here. That's before she come up here in 1917, that it was Indians and blacks, and they run them out of Trenton and taking everything. There's a lot of small towns like that I know about other people saying.
Well, times were very different, and
Oh, yeah.
life was certainly not fair. And you know, I think history tells us that. Tell me, you and your wife came to Trenton to live, and how many children did you have at that time?
We had 7, and 5 still living.
Are they?
Now, my oldest son, by my wife now, he was an artist. These people all around Trenton got pictures.
I've heard about him. Doris talks about him.
He drew that mascot in that gym. Anyway.
So where does he live now?
In Dallas.
Dallas.
He's down at my son now. He going back to Dallas today. He's doing some work down there on a church. He's a mechanic. He's an artist. He can do anything. He's just real talented.
Well, that's good.
But I told him, I said, now you ain't doing this on your own. All this come through with Jesus Christ. You can't do nothing on your own.
So you and your family lived here in Trenton from 59 on. Now, did you work for the railroad for a while?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I retired.
I thought you did. Well, did you work out of Trenton on the railroad, or did you work?
Yeah, I used to ride track all the way into Dallas to the Dallas Yard by myself in the pickup, and then I'd get a sight if a train was coming. Then I drove the motor. I was release foreman, and I drove the motor car also. And I worked here and between here and Dallas and Greenville. And
Did you know Mr. Orozco at that time?
Oh, yeah.
Did you all work on the same crew?
no, I didn't work with him. I worked out of Denison.
And he worked out of Greenville. Did he work out of Greenville?
He also, he worked out of Greenville and around. He volunteered and for, not with the railroad, but he was hiring people like his construction job.
Mm-hmm.
And he done that kind of work. But I retired. I taken a cut instead of going full because they was going to, when this guy come out of Plainview, he want to hire all white foremen and no black. And when they got ready to do a switch, they had to come get me because the foreman didn't know all different sizes of plates and everybody. So my union man told me, said, why are you showing these people? And they getting paid for a foreman and they got to come get you to do this work. I said, well, I'm doing it because I want them to let them know that they don't know anything.
Well, Mr. Massey, it's what kind of like I've always thought that sometimes in my job it was kind of the opposite. The men didn't know anything, and the women had to show them how to do it.
Yeah,
so
that was
so
right.
discrimination works in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah, I know that.
So did all your children go to school here in Trenton?
All my last wife did. They all went here.
Because now, when I was growing up in Trenton, the black children went to Bonham to school. It was not until the 60s that the children here.
Yeah, I didn't have any that go to Bonham.
They all went here.
All of mine went here. But the other kids.
Well, I bet my mother taught some of your children.
Oh,
Miss Reagan, did she teach part of your children?
Oh, I imagine there's a Glenn.
2 Miss Reagans.
Yeah.
You know, my mother and my sister-in-law, Miss Reagan.
Yeah, that was Glenn and Clarence. You know, I lost him when he was 14. He had that rare type of leukemia. He died in 3 days in 77. And there was Sharon and Jackie and Jacqueline and Sharon and Glenn and Tracy. Tracy, he's in Urban now. But he gonna have to try to get something. He's schizophrenic, real schizophrenic. He done got schizophrenic.
So is he on medication for that? Does he get treatment?
He was one time, but he thinks the police is watching him, and he talking about doing this.
Hear his voices and things.
Yeah, he's going through a whole lot, and he.
It's a hard.
Yeah, my other son, Chris, he tried to get him some help. But I told him I was going to have to see somebody there. He got a letter the other day through the mail from a lawyer, some attorney. I think it's from a wreck he had. So I gave it to Chris last night to give him, and you need to call that lawyer.
Mr. Massey, there have been a lot of changes in Trenton, haven't there, since you've lived here?
Yeah.
What do you see as the biggest change in Trenton since you moved here?
Oh, well, I've seen a lot of changes since then. I met a lot of people, but the older people, a lot of them are dead and gone. I'm the oldest man in Trenton.
Are you older than Billy D?
Yeah.
You're the oldest man in Trenton?
In Trenton,
and Billy D is the second oldest? Well, that is a distinction. So what are some of the changes that you've seen? The good changes, the changes for the good.
Well, about a younger generation coming up, and see, I guess that's the reason the Bible say don't look back, because you can look back at things and you can't. There's one more thing I want to say, but I can't give no name and no location because I don't want it to be no problem. I was going out to Dorothy. She was going to give me some stuff yesterday, and I couldn't even sleep last night. And I went the wrong way and drove up in this lady's up the little old street, and it was a dead end, and I drove up there, and she had some great big old dogs. And she wasn't no real old lady. And she come out there, and I asked her, I was looking for, did she know a Dorothy Smith? She said no, and I wish you would back up out of my yard. And I can't hardly get over that, and that remind me, reflect. And from now on, I'm going to drive nowhere I'm going, because I can't take that kind of stuff.
Well, Mr. Massey, don't you think that's because of your earlier experiences?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And people, and you know what? I think probably as long as you've lived, though, you've probably learned that the color of people's skin doesn't necessarily make them nice, rude, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just, and people are rude, and people are rude.
Yeah, see, I don't care what color. It don't make no difference with me. You can be black, blue, green, grizzle, gray. It don't make no difference.
Because some people are just rude.
That's right. I don't look at it like that. You got a lot of people that ain't got common sense. I'm gonna tell you what we went through overseas, and I know Billy D done heard about it. And everybody else have, even in Germany and all over. And then Hawaii was kind of strange, but white soldiers were going over there telling them girls all over, everywhere, all over European theater, all in the Pacific, that we had a tail that come out like a monkey when the sun go down. And we would be at a dance or go somewhere in Honolulu, And about sundown, them girls started looking behind them. That was happening everywhere. You heard about it too, didn't you? Everybody did. Somebody was talking about that the other day. I said, man, yeah, some people even in Vietnam, they said, and Korea, said they were still doing that. I said, oh, man, no. Yeah, we went to, in Honolulu, you had to buy a ticket to dance with them Hawaiian girls. It'd be 10 cents a dance when 10 minutes later in the booth. When the dance was over, you had to buy another ticket. And so it'd be a bunch of white soldiers in there, but they couldn't get no dance hall. The girl was dancing with us, Molly, so called it the June bug. We was jitterbugging. And them Hawaiian girls called it the June bug. Yeah, I tell you that was.
Well,
something.
what went back in the 60s, when the civil rights movement came and things started to really change. How did you see it change in Trenton? Now, I lived in Dallas at the time, so I saw a lot of different changes. But
Yeah.
did you see anything change in Fannin County?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of discriminating people around Fannin County now. They everywhere. It don't make no difference about Trenton. I mean, they everywhere. Cause I've been all over the United States. Mm-hmm. I've been in every state in the union.
And I that's everybody says that is true. I agree with you that discrimination can occur anywhere.
Oh yeah.
But I guess what I want to know is, do you see a change though? Do you see the difference?
Oh, it's been a big change since then because. See, at the time, a lot of time I get thinking about what my grandmother and my grandfather and the way they come up and their grandparents. See, my grandmother on my daddy's side looked like a white woman. Mm-hmm. You can't tell she got it back in her at all. I got kids with blue eyes, green eyes, and everything because those genes go back. But really, a lot of people don't know what happened in those days. But the truth is, the white man would take your daughter and have sex with her and take your wife too, and the minute been hung behind that. See, a lot of people don't, the younger people don't realize that, but the older people do.
That's the reason that's the reason history is so important, because you have to know what happened in the past to try to say, we won't ever let this happen again.
Yeah, because see, a lot of young people don't realize that. And then at that time, when all this was going on, the white woman had to sit there and take it because she didn't have nowhere to go. You know, she wasn't going to the black. And there's a lot of white women went with blacks back in them days until they got caught, and then they hollered rape. Then they would hang them. See, everybody know that.
Everybody. Well, were your grandparents slaves? Did you hear your grandparents talk about it, or was that?
Yeah, my grandparents and my granddaddy come out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he settled down on the other side of Rush, the Thomases. My grandmother was given, her daddy come out of Alabama, and they sold her mama in Missouri, and they come to Texas in a covered wagon. They was half Choctaw Indian, the Givens. Like the Givens over there in Bonham. Mm-hmm. We found out we were related to them. And I run up on a lot of my people by asking questions. Got the Lofton, the Gibson, the Givens, the Thomases, the Masses, the Nelsons, and you just name it. The Lewises. I'm kin to a lot of white. Now the Lewises, like down to my hometown, they, as I can remember, they never were prejudiced. That's where my grandmother was a Lewis. They come out of Nacogdoches. The same Lewis, and then I got a first cousin. I got some first cousins. They daddy looked like a white man. He didn't look like back in the 20s and the teens, he would go in the barber shop and get his hair cut just for them because they thought he was white. And he married my mother's sister. My mother's sister was real dark, had long blue, black, pretty hair. But all her kids, like my two first cousins in Kansas City and the one down in Texas City. Now you can tell they had, but she didn't have not one dark-skinned kid. They all was curly-headed and light-skinned.
Let me ask you something, Mr. If you had one thing that you would want to say to the young people of today that may be listening to this, what's the one thing you would want to say to a young person today?
I do tell them. I say, do something for yourself. You got to love your enemy. I say, and you got to treat everybody right. Don't uphold your children in their wrongdoing. If they wrong, they wrong. And that's what I believe in. I don't believe in no wrongdoing. I don't cover up for my children. I don't cover up for my sister or brother. If they doing wrong or doing you wrong, they wrong. I don't do that. I don't care nothing about that kind of stuff. And I don't honor no man like he's nothing but me and Ralph are real good friends, but he put his clothes on just like I do.
That's right.
I don't honor no man. I don't care how much money he got, and I don't care where he come from. He ain't nothing but another human. This earth is for all people.
That's right.
All people. And at the beginning, it wasn't but one race no way. Everybody come from Adam and Eve, and he wasn't white and he wasn't black.
We don't know what he was,
That's right.
we?
And God gives us knowledge and not to know.
No.
That's when Christ in you and you in Christ. You ain't gonna know everything until time.
Until the time.
When that time comes and you be judged again. We
then,
know that.
Then we'll know.
We'll know that.
Then we'll know.
I'd rather go up yonder than go down yonder forever.
And find out, right.
Yeah, I ain't gonna.
Well, this has been a great interview, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. And I know you and Billy D will continue with taking care of the senior citizens of Trenton. So thank you very much.